Hello guys and welcome back to Adapt Crypto. It's here, Harry, known as Trade Shop, and I'm bringing you today Bitcoin in 4 minutes. That's my goal. Let's do this in 4 minutes. So let's start the clock. So basically Bitcoin, we had a dump over yesterday. There was a lot of volatility. We had this huge run up here and then a huge dump. This is followed by liquidation of shorts, I believe, and also of longs and people taking profits. Apart from that, I would like to congratulate. We have hit all times high on major exchanges, so that is great, but it's still not that $20,000 mark. But I do want to show something. This morning we looked very bearish. Looking on the 1 hour time frame, we looked like that we wanted further correction down. And when we were breaking this level, I was looking for us to come at least down to the 17.6 level here, where we would play, I think, a small bounce and maybe even see this as a long-term bounce maybe in this region. Why does that make me, why do I think that? Well, look at the relevance here in the past. And apart from that, we might, I was saying essentially a range between these two here, maybe even come down. It's a bit hard to predict Bitcoin now, but I was definitely looking for a bounce here. Why? Because if you go on Bitcoin CME, there's a big old gap here, and coming down to that level there would have filled the gap technically. And normally, once you see a gap fill, I can go back in the past. You see, gap gets filled, it carries on. Uh, once a gap gets filled, it normally pushes up in the trend. So Bitcoin now is really good at trend trading, and that's why I expected a bounce because it'll come down, fill the gap, bounce, right? Continue the trend. So that's what I was expecting, but obviously we have bounced off this current level here, so my time is running out. Better quickly tell you what's going on. So basically, we bounced off this current level here. Let's go back here. So we've bounced off the level here. I'm not too sure what it's bounced off. It's probably bounced off kind of this area, right? If you were to draw a box, it's not very accurate Bitcoin at the moment, but it's bouncing to be off this line here. So you could probably make this a liquidation box because now that will be more accurate, something like that. Now you can see that it's caught all of that and it's caught this bounce here. It wasn't expected. I was expecting a bounce, but I wasn't expecting such a high bounce. I was expecting just maybe a $200-300 bounce. We have actually got 720, well, totally $800 bounce. But looking into the time frames, it looks like we are getting a rejection here at this level currently. But now we are riding above the 50 moving average again. So it looks like we're coming back down to test the 50 moving average. It's a bit hard to call what will happen now. We might be rejected and come back down and retest this area here. Or what I'm saying is if Bitcoin is going to continue and close a 2 hour above this level, I look for extension to this level right here. And from there, I don't think it really stops. We don't know, like, everyone's saying it won't stop. I mean, this is a perfect double top here, so that probably wants to get retested sooner or later. Uh, Time I can't give you. It's just really hard to do TA now, guys, and I'm not trading this asset personally. If I were to take trades, I'll be looking for bounces. So this is not financial advice, but obviously if Bitcoin comes back here, a small scalp trade, catch the bounce at this level for sure. You can see that clearly on the 4 hour. 4 hour will catch it pretty well, catch the bounce here. If we bottom around even here, then I'm taking the potentially a long-term setup. These area I'm taking big interest in catching bounces and maybe a long-term potential long. The reason for that is because of CME gap. So wrap this up very fast. Looking here, we are getting rejected at this level. We did wick and touch this level perfectly here. Now getting a small rejection. I did expect a rejection here. So we might looking at, okay guys, I'm not going to finish in 4 minutes because I want to give you some accurate information. So bear with me. So now let's go look at this. Stokes turned up a bit of weakness here on the 1 hour. They're looking like they want to turn down. 2 hours fresh cross, 4 hour crossing just about to cross. It's forming nothing. Let's go see the 1 hour. So 1 hour, it's kind of getting a bit hot here. It's kind of looking like it wants to turn to the downside, but that can easily get picked up. It is not catching anything. So, but if you look at this, we have broken a trend line. You can see that. That's been broken. So that's pretty much calls that move, right? And that's how you would have seen that. So that's been broken. Now it's looking a bit weak here. So I'm not going to call anything now. All I want to say that Bitcoin is looking bullish in the long term. This is very bullish, of course. Maybe we come down and retest this area here, but it looks like we are ranging. I will not call any interest in Bitcoin being majorly bullish until we break above this 19,300 level on a 2-hour closure. Let's go have a look at weekly, see what we're doing on my fan. So on my fan, we are. So yeah, we're getting rejected at the top side fan. Now this is interesting. That's cool. So we're getting a rejection right here, as we can see. So we might come down a little bit. So that's interesting, getting a rejection there. I'm not too sure. I want to see this tomorrow to see, but it does look like we are rejecting. We wicked up there and now getting a rejection. So we might just get a backfill down to that 18,400 or maybe even a full backfill. I'm not too sure, but definitely looks like maybe he wants to play some short-term downside. Uh, but I think maybe from its fundamentals, it doesn't play that downside. That's just based on a TA. But we are indeed rejecting this topside fan. So obviously, uh, a break above this fan, which would be the 19,800, the fan lines perfectly up with this line I have here, would extend targets past 20,000. And yeah, it looks like we are getting a small rejection here, but I can't hold anything, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say, we might come down, bounce somewhere off here or something, but there's no predictions. I'm just saying it looks bullish in the long term. Everything is looking good in the long term. Whether we play a range today between here and here, we could range between these two. I don't know, but in the long term, it is looking bullish. Breaking that trend line is bullish. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. My calls is that I'm not going to make any calls of this. I'm essentially calling this a big range. Yes, I know this is a $1,000 range, but that's how Bitcoin is working. I had a mid range here, so if it broke above this range, it would go to here. Same thing goes for the downside. If Bitcoin breaks below 18,832, I see it come back to test here. Same goes for the upside. If Bitcoin breaks above 19,300 and 83, I see it to extend there, then we can come back and look. But to see whether it will come back down and touch this range, I can't give any calls, but we are ranging until either we break this line here or break this line here, then we know where price is going. Anyways, I'll leave you with that, guys. Sorry for the longer video, but I just wanted to get a lot through. Hope you guys watched it. And remember, guys, trade sharp.